Hello and welcome back on another trip with Short Transit. Today, we're going to fly on a very intriguing South Korean airline that identifies itself as a hybrid service carrier, Air Premia. This airline operates only wide-body Boeing 787-9 planes to a handful of mostly medium to long-haul destinations from its hub at Seoul Incheon, offering only premium economy and economy class seats on board. With Korean Air and Asiana merging in the near future, the growth of Air Premia could potentially be massive as it becomes a major competitor to the enlarged Korean Air, especially on North American routes. More about it in a bit. So let's give this very interesting airline a try and see what they have to offer in this comprehensive review of Air Premia in economy class. Hi all and welcome to Short Transit, a channel where we make videos traveling on interesting modes of transportation around Asia, usually on airlines in the region, but also trains, buses and more. So if you find this sort of content interesting, do consider subscribing to the channel. It's free and helps us a ton. If you want to support the channel, we also have a Patreon page. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Hello from the bustling transit area of Seoul Incheon Terminal 1, where flights of non-SkyTeam airlines like Air Premia depart from. Today's flight review is going to be a little different, as I'll insert some clips from my past Air Premia flight from Singapore to Seoul back when they flew to Singapore in 2022, which features a plane with normal Air Premia interiors and a free meal on board. Here's my plane at gate 43. This 7-year-old Boeing 787-9 with the registration Hotel Lima 8517. This particular plane used to fly for Norwegian Air UK back when they were operating quite a substantial low-cost long-haul route network from Europe to North America before 2020. Unfortunately, the events of 2020 happened and Air Premia picked up this plane as its second aircraft in September 2022. Let's see what it's like inside, shall we?
바로 오른편으로 모시겠습니다.
Thank you. Yep, this is no doubt Norwegian's old 77 cabin, with the heavy grey tones of the seats. Economy is laid out in a 333 configuration with 282 economy seats, while there are a whopping 56 premium economy recliner seats at the front of the plane. Here's my standard seat at 35 Alpha. First impressions, it wasn't as spacious as the 35 inches of pitch advertised when I bought my ticket, but for just a short 2-hour flight, this seat is still considered relatively spacious. For comparison, this is Air Premia's default 77 configuration, with only 253 economy seats at the back with a dark blue color scheme. Just look at that legroom, that's for sure 35 inches of pitch. Before we took off, the cabin crew handed out earpieces for the entertainment system, which means we got an IFE screen to explore later in the video. Now that we're in the air, let's talk more about the route we're flying today. The Seoul Incheon to Tokyo Narita route is an incredibly busy route with quite a lot of competition, with up to 35 flights a day on 13 airlines. Interestingly, flight prices on this route do fluctuate quite a lot, with flights on the low-cost carriers hovering at around $100 to $150, although there are occasionally even cheaper flights, especially on less busy days of the week. Even though Air Premia is not a low-cost airline, its ticket prices are generally on the lower end of the spectrum due to the comparatively infrequent 5 times a week flight schedule compared with the multiple daily flights offered by its competitors on this route, plus the need to fill up 300 plus seats on their Boeing 787s that are deployed on this route. Meanwhile, full-service airlines like Asiana and Korean Air have ticket prices at around $150 to $250 price range, which is still cheaper than flight tickets on the more expensive Seoul Gimpo to Tokyo Haneda route, which mostly targets business travelers who value the convenience of downtown airports. Our seat on board today's flight is quite well equipped, despite it being Norwegian Air's old seats. It has a working touchscreen entertainment system in front of every seat and a USB-A port to charge your phone. Below that, we have a standard size flip-down tray table, and at the bottom, there's a seat pocket with the safety card and duty-free magazines. The legroom was decent with the 32 inches of pitch, although it wasn't quite like the 35 inches that was advertised when I flew with them. Meanwhile, on the normal Air Premia seats that I flew from Singapore, we've got an even bigger entertainment screen with a USB-A charging port, a foldable tray table, and a seat pocket. The thing that really differentiates this seat apart from the rest is definitely the enormous 35 inches of seat pitch between the economy seats, making it the most spacious economy seats in the sky. Not long later, the cabin crew went around the cabin handing out these chocolate flavoured pastries and a cup of water. On short flights to Tokyo, this is basically what you'll get on board, which is perfectly adequate considering the price I paid. On longer flights, you can expect a relatively substantial meal with a side dish, which comes in this very interesting plastic plating. Any drink other than water still costs extra money though, regardless of the flight length. It's the first time I've seen this type of offering on board an airline. Normally it's either all or none for free, and rarely in between like that. A very intriguing business practice indeed. After the light meal, it's time for some entertainment on board. Entertainment on Air Premia is honestly not that great. It's a very Korean-centric film and TV selection with only a few English titles. At least the movies loaded in the system have English subtitles. On top of the entertainment options, you can also order drinks and snacks on the system without calling the cabin crew. The system has a relatively modern in-flight map and, interestingly, a very handy timeline showing what to expect on your flight, which is especially useful on long flights. After seeing all this, you may be wondering, why do I think this small airline has a potential to be the enlarged Korean Air's next big competitor? Currently, Air Premia is mainly serving North American routes that are underserved by both Asiana and Korean Air, entering these markets by undercutting them with lower airfares. So far, they seem to be pretty successful at capturing their niche of the market, especially with passengers that are generally more price sensitive due to its lower cost as a hybrid airline. The merger of Korean Air and Asiana Airlines could present a golden opportunity for Air Premia to grow beyond their current niche in these markets, as they will be the only other Korean alternative on all of these key North American routes after the merger. In addition, Korean Air is leasing 4 planes for Air Premia to help fuel their expansion, in a time where planes such as the Boeing 787 are tough to source due to its limited supply and high demand among airlines. This could help Air Premia grow and build their network faster to key markets in the United States and around Asia. On top of that, Air Premia also does have a pretty decent product in general as seen in this video, with free in-flight meals and a spacious economy seats, which could help in its appeal among passengers when considering between them and Korean Air. But that being said, maintaining a reliable schedule as it grows its fleet and having a basic drink service could be very important improvements in my opinion, in order to help solidify Air Premia as an even more appealing choice of an airline when flying to and from Seoul. Welcome to a very windy Tokyo Narita Airport. To sum up, this has been a pretty decent flight on board Air Premia, with a decent onboard service and a pretty comfortable seat on board, especially the seat with 35 inches of pitch. Air Premia definitely has a lot of potential to challenge the status quo and disrupt the market if it plays its cards right, as the airline has quite a promising product that I'm sure many passengers will enjoy, especially at the right prices. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another short transit video.